William Kentridge is a fabulously interesting person because he has a wide range of experiences. As a result, his work is tremendously varied, from prints to drawings to sculptures, and then of course to these fantastic videos he makes.
For me, the center point of the work is always the studio, what happens in the studio, the walking around, the circling in the studio, getting ready to start a piece. And once it begins, it's a conversation between what the marks are on the sheet of paper and what one's response is to them as they're happening. So a drawing starts, and the start of the drawing suggests a development, and the sheet of paper becomes a membrane between what the world is throwing towards me and what I'm pushing out towards it, and they both get caught on the sheet of paper.
His career really unfolded in the past in the way that he got his teeth into a particular theme and explored it in many media over several years. And what gradually emerged was that we could do a show which surveyed his career from early to the present.
Well, the exhibition here in Melbourne is organized in 5 different themes rather than simply doing a straight chronological exhibition.
The first 2 themes have to do with Kentridge's life in South Africa during the time of apartheid.
There's no doubt that a lot of the history in the world of Johannesburg and South Africa over the last 20 years and continuing sits at different places in the work.
The third theme is kind of the turning point of the exhibition, and it's called Artist in the Studio. And it's a moment when Kentridge is moving past South Africa as his key concern. He started making these works of himself in the studio because, as is the case so often with artists, when they don't know what to do, they start looking at themselves working.
There's one theme which has to do with the history of the Enlightenment, which looks at Mozart's magic flute and its colonial shadow.
And then the 5th theme is called The Nose.
A story about a man who loses his nose, and we follow the adventures of the nose. And that was turned into an opera by Dmitri Shostakovich. And so the work on the exhibition here is, as it were, the detritus, the leftovers from the work done on the opera production. Or you could think of the opera production as a very complicated way of arriving at what's finally here in the gallery.
I think the exhibition is dazzling, really, and Kentridge is a dazzling artist. He's a very accessible artist. I notice, having been a specialist in contemporary art for so long, that many people are afraid of contemporary art, or they think it's beyond them. And Kentridge's work is wonderfully accessible and emotional.
It requires a completion of the narratives by the viewer, so it requires a generosity on the part of the viewer to make sense of the different half narratives.
So one of the pleasures in having done this exhibition is to have seen thousands of people fall in love with the work of Kentridge, William Kentridge. It happens over and over again.